Here's the insides of the organ. Could you explain what these are?
This is the Aeolian-Skinner combination action that was installed in 1946-47. It has now been replaced with multi-level solid-state system, but this was basically an electromechanical memory system which encoded the combinations, the stops, and registered them electromechanically.
So it looks like almost a pneumatic system.
It's electropneumatic. You had these traces here, and the pneumatics would push down the rockers, and then when you pressed a piston, this would go and make contacts. It's all
interesting.
ancient technology.
I'm glad it's preserved, though.
Yes, they wanted us to preserve it.
These are some of the most interesting stops in this organ, I find.
This is the pedal 16-foot bassoon, which is one of 3 free reed stops that was retained from the Walcker organ. This particular stop was originally the 16-foot reed in the Swell, but Aeolian-Skinner, in their rebuild, moved it to the pedal.
Is there a way to show the inside?
Yes.
Maybe in the light. Oh, yes.
So this is a free, instead of beating against the shallot, the reed actually goes through the opening like a harmonium reed would do. And it is tuned. There's a threaded rod that goes through the block, and it is rotated with a tool, and you can rotate that then rotates the plate that engages the tongue to regulate the length, the beating length of the tongue, which then regulates the pitch of the pipe.
And as you said, these are original.
This is original 1863 Walcker.
They look very new to me, that they're very well maintained.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good condition.
A little bit of wear, and on some of them, the threads in the wood have stripped a bit, and it's the threaded steel does not catch as much as it used to, but not bad for something from 1863.
And the resonators are by Skinner, or they are also by Walcker?
I'm not sure. That I'm not sure.
Okay.
We could look. See, it's very heavy, but
looks like American build.
Yeah, it looks American, and then it's stamped. It says bassoon. So this may date to later. Not really sure.
And these look like open 16.
Yeah,
pipes.
These are fill-in pipes because the organ was originally pitched sharp, as were many mid-19th century organs. Many of those organs were pitched to around A450 or A453, which is more than a quarter tone sharp. I believe when the organ was rebuilt and put in here, that the pitch was changed to A435, which at the time was the standard consort pitch. So instead of having to lengthen all the pipes, what they did was they shifted all the pipes up one note. So C became C sharp. So it just needed to be flattened a bit, and then a new C was inserted. So this looks like the C of a 16-foot principal, and then next to it looks like the low C of an 8-foot principal. I'm not sure if that is for the grate or the pedal.
It's remarkable. Okay, let's go up. Oh, before we do that, I saw.
That's right. Those
the
are
32
That is the 32-foot Contra Bombarde, which is a free reed, and that is one of the few, probably the only
I think only in the
32
world.
foot free reed in this country. There might be some in existing Walcker organs in Germany. But it's interesting that it...
I've seen similar design in Germany, built by Ladegast, but they were 16-foot pipes. Very, very beautiful.
Some reeds, especially ones that have fractional length resonators, sometimes an adjustment must be made to the length of the channel to tune the channel to the note of the pipe. Otherwise, the pipe will misbehave and not want to tune to the intended note.
Maybe go up.
Sure, yes. Okay, at this level I can show you another free reed. This is the choir division, which is played from the top manual, or the solo as they call it. Now, the second reed from the front is the interesting one. That is, I think that's the 4-foot regal, it's called. I think it was originally the Vox Angelica. It has short wooden resonators. And that is original Walcker, too. That's one of the three.
May I take one out?
Yeah, if you take the top of that one that's closest to you, just take the top. We're going to take the whole thing out. The resonator might lift.
Okay.
Do you want me to take it apart?
Yeah, thank you. It's very similar.
Yeah. Again, it has the threaded rod that goes through, and it's rotated to regulate the length of the tongue. A wooden shallot with the brass plate, just like a harmonium. And then just a little wooden...
Also, I see some interesting pipes here.
Oh yes, that's probably the 4-foot flute, harmonic flute, which is round.
Yes.
That's Walcker, yes.
That's very interesting.
I think that's orchestral flute or something. I'm not sure what the names are.
Quite thick pipes.
Yes. This was the 8-foot Vox Humana, and they made it into a 16-foot Regal, and then this, the Cor Angelica, and then this, originally they had a very narrow crumhorn here. And then I think about 10 years ago, Andover moved that to the positive, and we obtained, I believe this is a Hutchings or a more suitable 19th century clarinet to get a clarinet sound. So the thin crumhorn is now.
I would be interested in seeing the 4-foot. Yeah. An oval hole.
It's blowing air across the hole as one would with a brill flute.
Are the square pipes similarly designed?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the metal plate.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. So how the air is blowing through there, and it's directed inside the hole?
Yes, through it kind of rolls around the dowel, and that aims it towards the hole.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Traverse flute. The largest pipe in the tin pipe in the facade is now low F of the 32-foot pedal principle. It was originally low E, but that was when the organ was speaking a higher pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So when the pitch was lowered to 435, the E became F. So what you have here is, you'll see it better upstairs, but there are 3 pipes here. Low C is actually behind that outer tower, within that tower confine. And then this largest pipe you see here in the corner is low D, and then there's low E, or wood. So the low 5 pipes are wood, and low F is the first tin pipe.
Okay. I'm trying not to fall while taking the video.
As you can see, these 2 chests directly in front of us are the grate, and then the swell is to the left, behind the expression louvers, and then just beyond the grate, at 90 degrees to it, that chest is the positive, and then beyond it are pedal pipes. The pedal is generally divided on C and C sharp sides, except for some stops that were added by Ailey and Skinner in 1947.
It used to be the largest organ in the US.
Yes.
When it was installed, right?
When it was first installed, yes. I think now it's about 84, 85 registers and about 116 or 17 ranks, and over 6,000 pipes. The 5 pipes in the center are dummy pipes. They are wooden half rounds with sheets of tin stretched over them and then attached at the back with tacks. And that is the same for the largest pipes, the pipes in each of the outside towers. Those 2 are what we call dummy pipes. The rest of the facade pipes are part of, I believe, the pedal 32-foot principle, and I think the great 16-foot principle.
It's just hard to get the size of these pipes on the video because they're enormous. You can easily fit in them.
Would you like me to take a video of you standing next to
Yeah.
it? If you want to climb up there, now the ladder will creak. Every step will creak, but it's perfectly safe.
Yeah, they are very scary. It's very scary up here, especially the steps are creaking.
Yeah, but you see, every pipe can be reached to tune. That's how you tune those big pipes.
And they are not suspended, I suspect.
Well, they have there's a steel collar that is riveted to the pipe where the scallop board is, where the support is, and that bears the weight of the pipe.
Okay. Like this, right?
Yes, backwards, yes.
Now let me show you these pipes. Can you follow me?
Yes.
The video, just the video. Look at the size of this.
That's low D. And then if you look up beyond, inside the tower,
Yeah, it's hard you can see it, but
yeah, that's low C.
it looks like a piece of the cabinet, but it's actually
Yeah, but it's not, yeah.
gorgeous. I would like to introduce Chad Dow, who is the president of the board at Methuen Memorial Concert Hall, and I would like to ask him why and how he became the president of this wonderful venue.
Sure, thanks. So I started here at the Methuen Memorial Music Hall when I was 10 or 11, doing community theater right here on the stage, right in front of the great organ. There's a program that we run every year called Methuen Young People's Theater, and that was really my first introduction to this beautiful hall. And ever since, I've been awestruck with the building, and it's always been a part of me growing up. Even though I wasn't here through college and most of high school, I was always drawn back to the building.
This wind chest and pipes are the mixture and higher pitched pedal stops that Aeolian Skinner added. There's a mixture, and then I think there's a 2 2/3 and a 2-foot. The unfortunate thing is that it was added so high. All the rest of the pipes are down low. So whenever organists use the pedal mixture, it sounds out louder than everything else because it is much higher.
And those are the C-sharp side of the...
That is the C-sharp side of that's low C in the corner. So, I'm sorry.
Low C-sharp.
Low C-sharp of the 32-foot Contra Bombarde. This was the stop list of the organ when it was installed here. This was the, I guess, the schematic diagram for the combinations. Because in those days they were blind combinations. The organist or the organ builder would have to set them internally. The only thing that was, when the organ was acquired by Mr. Searles, and when they unpacked it, they determined that the wind chests were not worth rebuilding. And in its first life in the Boston Music Hall, there were many problems to the layout. The grate was on the far side, and then another division was on another side, and the swell was back in an alcove and never stayed in tune. So all of the structure, all of the wind chests, all of the wind system dates from the rebuild when it was in 1900 or so. Now, these are interesting. This is a 2-foot Rohr Schalmei, which was added by Aeolian Skinner. This was their interpretation of a neo-Baroque pedal reed. The next reed with the flared bells, that is the 4-foot Clarion. The resonators are actually Walcker resonators. All of the trumpet family of resonators in the Walcker organ had flared bells like that. There are pictures that show all the trumpets were flared at the top.
So this is the only trumpet stuff from Walcker that is remaining.
And it is debatable how much of it is remaining other than the top half. You can see where it was soldered on, and so probably it was kept. But it's not sure how much of it is actually Walcker, except for the tops of the pipes. And then the 8-foot trumpet is behind it. Obviously, that's American.
Yeah. So can we go into the swell?
Yes, go up and then take a left. Oh, there's one interesting thing here before we go. Back there, those are Walcker. Those are the pipes and chests of the 32-foot Grand Bourdon, which is the 32-foot cornet.
Oh, okay. May I take one pipe out?
Yes.
Cute.
Mostly stop pipes, big scale, so they produce a smooth tone with not many harmonics, because these pipes are harmonics. There's a septième and a seventh and a ninth, and I think a tierce as well.
They're light, made of pine
Yes.
and spruce.
So they are the harmonics of the 32-foot series. That it's like a 32-foot cornet. So when you pull it on, you think there's another 32 in the pedal, but it's only those pipes.
Okay, here's the swell.
We are now in the swell.
Lots of narrow scaled strings.
Yes.
It looks like they are made by Skinner.
Yes,
Probably.
I think Skinner. And then a very narrow scaled reed. That is the 16-foot Fagotto. Originally, the 16-foot reed in the swell was the bassoon pipes you saw down in the pedal, which were moved. And then also all of these reeds are from Aeolian Skinner. From where we are going forward, that's the 8-foot hautbois, or oboe, then the 4-foot clarion, then the 8-foot trumpet, and then at the far end is the 16-foot bassoon. And you'll see that the rack boards for the trumpet and the clarion are very low because they have the very short boots that Aeolian Skinner used for their pipes.
Mm-hmm. An interesting design for the swell shades to bring the sound up.
Yes.
Is it?
That's
intentional?
That's intentional, yes, because the sound would project up. Because if it was down, it would bounce on, it would get lost. So it was acoustically designed. And I think the swell box dates from 1900 also.
Great.
One thing I will show you before we go further is you can tell This is an Aeolian Skinner pipe, and you can tell because of the shape of the top lip, and also with a spotted metal, and it is stamped in the modern industrial style. This is a Walcker pipe
Yeah.
with the Roman style of upper lip, and this was originally, this is now the positive 2-foot octave, but it was something else before.
A435, 3 3/4 must have been a part of a Grand Cornet.
Oh, well, oh no, actually, so this is, okay, means, see, this was a B, I think, because that says H, but now it is a C, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything was shifted up one note. But what this means, 3 3/4, A435, means it was 3 3/4 inches wind pressure
Oh, I see.
that this pipe was on, and the pitch was A435. So this was originally something else.
Beautifully made pipes.
Yeah.
Dark tone.
So that's how you can tell the difference.
So these are all Walcker pipes then, because they have the.
I'm sorry?
These are Walcker pipes as well.
Some of them, yes. Yeah, if this. So this is C sharp. Yeah, this is part of one of the mixtures, but you see it says Fugara A. So it was originally A of the Fugara, and now it is, and then it became A sharp later on, probably 1900, when the organ was repitched.
And now it's part of the mixture.
Now it's part of the mixture. What Aeolian Skinner did was they used, for the most part, they used the Walcker pipes as raw material.
For a new organ, basically.
But basically they, thankfully, because of budget reasons, they did not go all the way. I think it was Arthur Howes, who was the driving force behind the rebuilding of the organ, wanted them to do much more, but the budget was somewhat limited. So they only went halfway with what was wanted.
Thankfully.
So had they gone fully, then there would be even less Walcker pipes. That walkboard will dip a little bit, but it's perfectly safe. Now, when Aeolian Skinner rebuilt the organ, I believe the reeds were already missing. The reed pipes were already missing from the grate. And Donald Harrison did not want reeds on the grate. He would have a cornet series and a septième to give a reed effect. In the 1970s, Andover put trumpets back on the grate because many organists were saying, "Why can't we have trumpets on the grate?" So Andover did that, and then the septième, that's gone because some years ago Andover added an 8-foot gamba to the organ. I think it's one of these stumps.
And this is a Gem's horn? Probably.
Okay, this one, yeah, that's an 8-foot, it looks like a Gem's horn. And this is Gem's horn, and that's actually Walcker. You can tell by the stamp and the scribe mouth. Yeah. The Walcker pipes are beautifully made. Yeah, okay, see the rack board that is clean and dust free. The next one, just behind it, that's the 8-foot gamba. There had been a gamba there, and Aeolian Skinner took it out and put a septième there.
Oh, how smart.
Yeah, so the septième now is in a storage closet, and there's a Gamba which is much more useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how musical tastes change.
How impressive those 16-foot string
Yeah.
pipes.
Some of those might be Walcker. You see, they're tin.
Yeah.
The bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other side are zinc, but then they go to tin.
Yeah, the tin parts are probably by Walcker.
Walcker, yes. And for example, that the 16-foot diapason, which is in the front, a principal, you can tell from the mouths, and that it's tin, and that is Walcker, or was Walcker. I think a lot of things, when the organ was rebuilt around 1900, I think some things were revoiced. The organ was repitched, obviously. This is Walcker, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Flute d'amour.
Beautifully made pipe again.
Yes. Now, see, this says, I'm not sure what the stop is, but it was originally principal, and it was an A at the top. I think maybe that was a 16. And now this says great open C sharp. I'm not sure if it is the great open. Maybe it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, yeah. But you can tell, you can tell from the pipes say what they were.
It says great cornet too.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be principal and great open G sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is the current?
I'm not sure. It's really hard to say. I'm not totally familiar with the layout of the chest.
We have a tremendous season that's already underway, actually. So every Wednesday night we perform a live recital. This is actually the flagship series that we have here at the Music Hall. And it's been going on for decades, actually, here at the Hall. And we bring organists in from all across the country and often across the world to come play this beautiful instrument. So we encourage you to join us every Wednesday night. We've already started the concert series, and it'll go all the way through the end of August. I know the time differences are a little bit awkward to get to, so if you can't make it on Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, those recordings are always available on our YouTube channel so that you can watch them after the fact. And we really encourage you to come and enjoy the live performances and see the real talented artists that we have in the